opium to stop men in turbans from killing you. We're naked body scanning you and radiating you and saving it to keep you safe from men in turbans when they're financing the men in turbans. And you've got the CIA run by Wall Street doing whatever it wants. It's gangsters. And you've got the light side of the CIA and the FBI. You know, you've got the people that are the paper pushers and the people that investigate bank robberies at the FBI and the people at the CIA that create dossiers on different world leaders and infiltrate for information. And a lot of them are good people who really think they're fighting, you know, corruption worldwide and spreading truth, justice, and the American way. But you're not. Stop living in denial. The average police officer is a good, hardworking person who wants to help people. Okay, when I was in college, I looked at a career in law enforcement briefly because I wanted to help people. Okay, and I like adrenaline, and I like the idea of going up against bad guys. And my dad said, I have a friend who's a federal marshal. Why don't you have lunch with him? And I went over to his office and had lunch with him, and he said, are you a criminal? And I said, absolutely not. I'm, you know, like Mr. Boy Scout. And he said, yeah, well, that's why if I would have done this over again, and this was a senior federal marshal, he said, I wouldn't have done this. And he said, if you are not basically a criminal, then this is not the job for you. So that was a big wake-up call at 20 years old. And I was looking at lots of different stuff. You know, I was going and talking to people about, you know, being a game warden or, you know, because I could be outside and do stuff. But then they're like, that's not really what we do. We spy on people. People don't like us. So I mean, if you're talking to a senior federal marshal who was about to retire, and he tells you that if you're not a criminal, you don't want to be involved in this, why would he say that? What do you think a senior federal marshal knows? What do you think a senior federal marshal knows that he would tell a 20-year-old, somebody who looks like Mr. Apple Pie? I mean, when I was 20 years old, folks, I ran 6 miles almost every day, lifted weights for 2 hours a day, 3 times a week. You know, I was in 2% body fat, perfect shape, well-spoken, nice, and he's got, you know, Leave It to Beaver sitting in front of him, and he says, you don't want to do this. Because he said, it isn't what it used to be. And I didn't understand exactly what he was talking about at the time, but that certainly scared me away from it. And when you realize how dirty this government is, when you realize how bad it is, when you realize it's only getting worse, it's a painful thing. But living in denial doesn't make those problems go away. Living in denial only allows it to all get worse. And so I see the different types of police officers, the hardworking, former military types who are just out there following things by the book, and they stay low level and they're out there writing tickets when they're 55. But the people that know how to play the criminal game, the people who know just how evil the system is and will go along with it, whether they join with it or just passively look the other way, they're going to go to the top. You know, I've been out in Los Angeles a lot, and I have been around former police detectives and current police detectives. I have had dinner with police detectives. I have had dinner with people involved with the Vikings, and that's not a football team in Minnesota. That's the police mafia of Los Angeles. And they're all just, of course the government did 9/11. We knew that day one, of course. I've got well, we call him a great uncle, but he's one of my dad's cousins, lives down by our farm. You know, known him since the day I was born. And he was an Army officer. And he was recruited by the CIA as an Army officer. And in his training, he was supposed to do unbelievably criminal things in Chicago and other cities, and he got out of it. I mean, everyone I know in my family, you name it, who has brushed up against this, It's the same report. Okay, and they don't care. Hey, great, my family member, Army officer, he wouldn't do evil things. So they said, good, we don't want you. We're going to recruit somebody else. Think about how the system has had decades to go through with a sieve, like panning for gold. But the gold they're looking for are tyrants. And they've been panning through it. And most of the people are moral. They won't do things that are evil. They don't care. They find the ones that will. It's just like the confirmed reports of TSA agents are being called in and saying, will you run naked body scanners? Do you have health concerns? Yeah, I don't really want to run them, and I've heard you can get cancer. It was in the New York Times. Okay, pink slip, we're laying you off. They'll find people that'll drive mobile trucks around and look through your walls and be radiated themselves. They'll find people they can find people. You understand that? They built an army.
As gardeners, we can all relate.
What do you do with all of the excess food that you grow?
Freezing or canning may have been the process you've used, but the good folks at Excalibur Dehydrator have a healthy alternative to preserve the fruits of your labor. The Excalibur Dehydrator will help you preserve your fruits and vegetables quickly and easily, so you don't have to worry about premature spoiling. You can also use your Excalibur Dehydrator year-round to make delicious jerky. And the best part? The foods you dehydrate are free from excess additives, salt, and preservatives, and that's something we can all do without. To learn more and to order your very own Excalibur Dehydrator, visit drying123.com and see how the Excalibur Dehydrator can help you preserve your favorite foods.
Mention coupon code GCN and receive a free book on how to preserve your foods.
Again, that's drying123.com, drying123.com, or call 1-800-875-4254. That's 1-800-875-4254 today.
To ship a vehicle safely from point A to point B, which company should you choose? Easy. Stateway Auto Transport. Why trust Patriot-owned Stateway Auto Transport? Many reasons. Stateway is not just a broker, but a fully licensed and bonded carrier with its own fleet of trucks and $1 million of cargo coverage insurance. With Stateway, your vehicle rides safely on a direct route on the same truck, and your shipment is always door-to-door with no hidden fees. And every shipment includes free online vehicle tracking. Simply put, Stateway Auto Transport is the best, most efficient, quickest, and friendliest worldwide shipper in the business. To receive a free quote from a live customer service representative, call 877-848-7474 or see us online at statewayauto.com. That's statewayauto.com or call 877-848-7474. Ask about discounts for seniors, military, and all GCN listeners. Stateway Auto Transport, your one-stop shop for worldwide vehicle transport.
Are you wondering about your retirement portfolio? Are you confident that the financial advisor is experienced enough to combat climbing interest rates, taxes, and inflation? Stop guessing and go to the expert, Robert Chapman of the International Forecaster. When you subscribe to the International Forecaster, you get Robert Chapman's 45 years of experience and concise investment recommendations. Who needs sugar-coated excuses when you can get the cold hard facts and proven investment leads you can't get anywhere else? For a free introductory copy to Robert Chapman's International Forecaster, subscribe now at theinternationalforecaster.com or call 877-479-8178. Experience the difference. When you subscribe, you can email Robert Chapman directly to obtain investment advice tailored just for you. Don't wait another minute. Subscribe today at theinternationalforecaster.com or call 877-479-8178. That's 877-479-8178.
When you hear the words water purification, what comes to mind? If it's Berkey Water Purification Systems, this message is for you. Did you know that over 60% of municipal water contains fluoride at less than 2 cents per gallon? Berkey water filters purify treated and untreated water, remove dangerous chlorine, fluoride, and contaminants from municipal water. These filters are powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water, making them perfect for rainwater collection systems. From the smallest to the largest systems, BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com has what you need. With your system purchase, you'll receive a shower filter, a fluoride filter, or 2 sport Berkey bottles absolutely free. BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com would like to offer GCN listeners 5% off all ceramic filter systems and ship all orders over $50 free of charge. Visit BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. Or call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY today.
The point I was trying to make last segment is the corrupt corporations that have been running this country into the ground, the robber barons that really took over in 1913, they have been slowly building a giant underground army of criminals and compromised individuals. I mean, by the mid-1930s, they came to the most highly decorated Marine Corps officer or enlisted in history, two-time Congressional Medal of Honor winner, Smedley Butler, who'd overthrown countless countries for them. They came to him and they said, we want you to help run a coup with 500,000 men we've got in police, the military. We've got the units ready. We're going to take over the U.S. and join with Hitler. And this came out in the McCormick-Dickstein committee hearings. Now, he played along with them long enough to blow the whistle, and that's what finally woke him up. Smedley Butler. What, Major General Smedley Butler. And they said, after you stage the coup, we're going to make you commandant of the Marine Corps, probably president down the road after that. How does dictator sound? Smedley Butler was taken all the way up on the mountain by the globalists, and he named them, the Rockefellers, you name it. He did radio broadcast on it. He did newsreels on it. They took him up to the mountain and they said, how would you like to be president? All you got to do is take over the U.S. Well, they've done it. They found the generals. They found the Homeland Security people. They built the system. The RAND Corporation and CFR designed it. And we are in a corporate dictatorship right now, and they want to start shutting down the internet and free speech. They want to try to intimidate the American people. They're counting on police and military and others to be ignorant. And when the system stages terror attacks and creates a financial atmosphere that causes riots, as you're seeing accelerate in Europe, they have trained you to see the people as your enemy in the name of protecting them and to basically march out against us. And it's not just the government and the corporations that are decadent. The general public is very decadent, is into evil, is into corruption. I mean, we all share the blame. If you want to know why this has happened, look in the mirror. Evil's always been there. It's always trying to get control. But when you give in to it, your country goes down a rat hole. Your country gets flushed down the toilet. And if they can cheat people on mortgages and take veterans' death benefits and all the rest of the things they're doing, can you imagine what's coming down the road? None of us have seen anything yet. And at the end of the day, you know, I don't feel up to the task of fighting these people, but I don't have a choice. I mean, it's either submit to them or stand up against them. You think it's fun to stand up against these people? You think it's fun to have all their major think tanks attacking us 24/7 and all their paid provocateurs on the web? You think it's fun for Rand Paul to have the Republicans and the Democrats coming out against him and Bill Clinton dispatched there to now claim that some group he might have been associated with wrote a newsletter making jokes about black people, just totally made up, or that he's kidnapping women? You think that's fun to have people lying about you?